As you can tell, the Gavotte is a lot of fun to play. I did a lot of fun stuff on this one. At the end, you'll notice I really sped up a bit, which you don't have to do, but when you get really good at it and get comfortable with a decent tempo that you can play at, you can speed it up and have all kinds of fun and do daring things with it. So from the beginning, I start off with the stroke being very short, right here, fingers and wrist. And I got so into it, my shoulder rest just fell off. So real short strokes, fingers and wrist. And for the long quarter notes, more bow. So you could probably use, for those quarter notes, about the length of a marked off section of your bow. A word about the grace notes. Real quick notes before the actual big note. So your actual big notes are the G and the D in there. You want to aim for those. And it's almost like you made a little mistake and you played a note before. You could also practice real quick 1, 2, a real quick 2, 3. To get used to that, and when you put it in context. So in this whole piece, I played all the repeats, and you should too, but when you practice it, you can avoid doing the repeats if you just learn each section and then move on to the next one. So I'm going to rather quickly move on to the next section. The next section is a little bit more arpeggiated. Again, make sure short notes with the eighth notes, longer bows with the quarter notes. And I have a lot of fun on that line when I play. I'm really exaggerating the retard, the slowing down in there. Usually if you move around a lot, it helps. Just kidding. So you can do that for dramatic effect, slow down a lot and then pick it up again where it says a tempo. Again, there's a grace note. Just make sure it's real quick before the big note. Moving on to the più cantabile section, the next section, a completely different change of character, so you want to use as much bow as you can. Think peanut butter bows again into the string. There's a decrescendo in there, coming down to a piano. You want to get really soft as you can. Preceding that, you've got some fast 16th notes that require a little bit of effort from your left hand, and you may have to slow this one down. In fact, it's probably a better idea to practice this section single bows first. Watch out, it's high second finger then low second finger, and yes, it's better to use fourth finger in here. When you get good with single bows, try to make it 2 slurred. Now remember, 16th notes, 4 16th notes equal 1 quarter note, so that means 1 length of bow, so that means 1 marked off section per 4 16th notes. It's the same as a quarter note, so you want to use the same amount of bow. It's counterintuitive to think more notes, more bow. Be careful. So once you get really good with doing 2 notes slurred, then you can add the 4. And just work your tempo up until you get it to the actual tempo. I played the first beat and the second beat, just the first note of those 16ths, just to let you hear where the beats are. So any way you can break it up like that and make it easier is great. So moving on, we've got the piano section with the double up bows. Those up bows are a little flick with your wrist and fingers. Be careful of octaves. The E to the E is a little tricky to get in tune. Make sure you're on the tapes. That should help you with the octaves. They may not be perfect, but you can at least adjust after you've gotten your fingers on the tapes correctly. And lots of string crossings, so when you're changing strings, a little bit more shoulder. Shoulder, you want to use your whole arm to cross strings like that, makes it a lot easier. Next part of this piece I slowed it down a little bit there, even though it still might seem fast. But again, 16th notes, 4 of them equal 1 beat, so you're only using quarter note bow strokes in this whole section. So I play the whole thing just with quarter notes so you can see what my bow is doing. So when you add the other notes, and that pizzicato at the end, there are 2 up bows so that you can be close to the string and you can pluck. And that puts you in the right part of the bow to do the pizzicato. Refer to my video on pizzicato about doing pizzicato with your bow in hand. And that's kind of a hard technique. We don't do that a whole lot, but we do it enough that you need to know how to do it well. So slow it down, take your time, and just... Whoops. Make sure you place everything before you make a sound. It's always a good idea to be in place before you make a sound, whether it's pizzicato, arco, whatever. Just make sure you're in place. So have a lot of fun with this one. Make sure you start off with it kind of slow. My eventual goal tempo on this is 140, but if you want to make it around 120, that's perfectly fine. I'm talking about the quarter note here. So 140 is a good tempo, or slow it down and basically just have fun with it.